Hi friends, thank you so much for coming back to craft with me today, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Alyssa, and today's video was actually requested by a YouTube friend, Teresa, and I did a tutorial 2 years ago on what I called an ephemera book. So I will link that video down below, but she was just looking to make a slightly bigger version. So this is what I came up with here. It is a little over 5.5 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And I made mine in a Christmas theme that says Jingle All the Way. And when you open it, first I just put this little merry and bright card in there for journaling, or I might put photos in there. And then you basically get these 3 envelope pages. So it just opens up like that. And you can stick bigger items in here, bigger photos. Got my little penguin there that says stay warm. Here's my other one. I did not fill each envelope yet, but I'll probably fill it with journaling cards, or you could even put little mementos from trips. If you're gifting this to someone, put some gifts in there like hot cocoa packets or pieces of ephemera they can use in their journaling. Anyway, I have some space here for writing, a Happy Holidays tag. That's the last envelope page. And just some extra little goodies on this page. And then there's also a mini journal inside, which you can add to. As you can see with my papers here, I just slid them underneath this little elastic piece. So really easy to take out pages, add pages. It's like a fun little traveler's journal stuck in here. So there's that part. And then the last part here is a flip out page. I've got a pocket here. And then of course the pocket over here as well. And just some more writing space there. But I tried to make it just very similar to the one from my video. There are obviously lots of pockets to hold things, lots of spaces where you can journal. You can even add a signature in the front here too, or do another flip out page in the front. So this is just a really fun project, jam-packed with goodies. So go ahead and grab some paper and we can create one together. The paper that I'm going to be using today and that I used for my sample there was the Christmas Adventure paper by the Paper Boutique. And I bought this online at orientaltrading.com actually. I think it was either last year or the year before, but I'm nearly finished with this paper pad, so I'm going to use it today. And the first thing we're going to do is just start off with the cover. So for the cover, I have a piece of paper that's 12 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And I'm actually going to flip mine over just so you can see where I'm going to score. And the scores are a little weird, but they're still really easy scores. So you can see here, 5 5/8 and then 6 3/8 is where we're going to score. So 5 5/8 is the little tick in between 5.5 and 5 3/4. So we'll score there, just in case you don't have a scoreboard with every little 1/8 of an inch marked for you. That's where that is. And then 6 3/8 is just right in between 6 1/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, so this is just going to be the spine, and we're going to fold this side over. And fold this side over. Like that. That's our cover. We're going to set that to the side. And for this album, I did my envelopes a little bit differently. I think this is probably easier to do, but you're just going to need 3 sheets of paper that are 8 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And for the other part of the envelope, you're going to need 3 pages that are 4 inches wide by 8 inches tall. So let's just focus on one of these sheets first. So I've got my 3 here. So I'll just show you how I'm going to assemble my envelope pages. So I'm going to take this, I'm actually going to flip it over to the blank side so you can see. So we're just going to hold this at the 8-inch side, and we're going to score at 2 1/4 and 7 3/4. And I've labeled here that this score is the lid, and this is just going to be the tab that we glue into our album. So let's start with the 2 1/4. And then 7 3/4. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to fold my lid over. And then this little 1/4 inch tab, I'm just going to fold it back. All right, so that's our tab. And then that's our lid. And then this is where the other piece here comes in. So I have 3 of these 4x8s. I'm just going to take 1 for now. And this is basically going to be the pocket part that goes here. But I'm going to turn this to the 8-inch side. And I'm just going to score it at 1/2 inch and 7 1/2. Half an inch and 7 1/2. And basically you've got tabs here at the top and the bottom. So you just want to fold those back. Like that. And then we're just going to attach this piece to here, and that'll be our pocket. And the lid can close right over top. So let me get my glue. I'm just going to pop some glue right onto the tabs we created. And then I'm just going to glue the side here all the way down. All right, and then we can place it right onto this sheet. All right, and then we still have that tab, of course, hanging there. And then for my lid, I am going to just corner round, which is just an option. And then to close up my envelope, I'm just going to use some Velcro dots. So I'll just take 2 of them, put them together. And then I'll stick this in the center of my lid here, as close to the edge as possible. And just press that down. And we have our first envelope page. Now I'm going to just take this tab and glue it into my album. So here's my album. And I will glue my tab. And I'm just going to place the tab on the left part of my spine. So just don't obviously go over that score. We'll make sure that can still close. And that's our first envelope flip page. And I'm just going to be doing that 2 more times. I might just fast forward through this part just to speed things up a little bit, but we're doing the same exact thing. Okay, so I did my next 2 envelope pages, and I will just glue them in with you guys. But just to bring this back, I'll take my second envelope sheet here. Again, just glue your tab, and we'll just place it right next to our first sheet. All right, and then our last envelope page. There's one little spot left for it. So we'll pop it there. Again, making sure not to go over our score. All right, that can still close up nicely. Everything is in there. All right, so those are the 3 envelope pages. Now you could even just stop there and make it a little mini album, but I'm going to continue and show you how I do the journal part. You just want to grab some stretchy elastic, and then I use my awl right here, but anything sharp will do. I'm just going to poke a hole to string my elastic through. And you can totally just eyeball it and poke a hole at the top and then one at the bottom. But if you wanted to make it precise, I just took a ruler and I'm gonna line it up here. So the spine in the back is where we're gonna sew in the signature. So I just line up my ruler there, and then I make a mark with a pencil at 1/4 of an inch. So right about here, just a light little mark. And then also at 6 3/4 of an inch, which is right here. And I'll just do a little mark there with my pencil, just so I know where I'm gonna poke my holes. And then I'll just take my awl and poke it right through at the top and the bottom. And I don't really have any Christmas color for this, but I'll just take the pink one, cut myself a piece. I'm not really measuring it. Then I will just go ahead and string this through. And I will go ahead and tie this just in a double knot. And that way you can put as many pages as you want under here. So I'm just gonna take this signature out of my sample one, just as an example. And the size pages that I used, I'll just stick this right here. They were about 10.5 inches wide by about 6 3/8 tall. And 6 3/8 is a little bit less than 6.5. So, I mean, you can really use whatever scraps you have on hand. And then you can just slide it underneath. And that will be your little journal part. Okay, so that is all set. Oh, and then the 10.5 inch side, obviously, you just want to fold it in half. Okay, now, because I'm using a single-sided paper, I am going to cover up my inside covers here. So I'm going to do that first before I add the flip out page in the back. So for that, I just grabbed 2 sheets that are 5.5 inches wide by 6 7/8 of an inch tall. And that is just a little less than 7 inches, of course. So when I glue these in, I have that little border around my pattern paper, and that's kind of how I wanted it to be. So I will just quickly glue these in. And when you do that, you could even create another pocket, like a side pocket or a top pocket or something like that. But I'm just going to glue mine down completely, just to cover up some of that white space, and then it also makes the album a little bit sturdier. All right, and then my second sheet's going in the back. Same thing here. Alrighty. Next, last part, we're going to do the flip out page in the back. So again, you could do a flip out page in the front too if you wanted, but since I'm just doing one in the back, I have one sheet of paper that is 9 inches wide by 7 inches tall, and on the 9-inch side, we are just going to score at 2 and 7. So 2, 7, and I'll fold this one over. Yeah, and then this one back. And then I am going to corner around both sides. Again, just preference. Okay, so this piece here is going to be our side pocket on the back inside cover, and that's going to be our other side pocket that we flip open. So I'm just going to glue this down first. If you have single-sided paper, again, you could cover up this spot too, but I don't mind that being white. Okay, and then of course we're going to take this piece, just flip that over and glue 3 edges. And that will be our side pocket right over here. So we'll just place this over top. Push it all the way to the edge here. All right, and that completes our little flip out in the back. So that is everything in terms of the construction of this album. I do apologize because I will probably not be decorating this one on camera either. Same thing as my last project, if you saw that one. I just have been very short on time for filming and crafting lately. You guys know I've got 2 little ones at home, and one of them got sick, and then I got sick, and I actually lost my voice, so I wasn't even able to film. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial anyway, and I hope this was helpful for you, Teresa, as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today and for joining me in my crafty journey. I will see you all very soon in my next video, so happy crafting and huge hugs!